it can wreak havoc on your mental well-being. It's happened to most of us. We're talking about ghosting. So let's get totally transparent about the ghosting culture we live in. It's actually become normal and left us a little broken or perplexed, but who's to blame? Why do we care? The ghosting culture is a reflection of how we already interact. We have a scroll on, swipe away, block, delete, and unfriending attitude. We're just adapting to a social revolution. We've all had an experience where someone you're chatting with just vanishes into thin air without explanation. But our next guest says it's important to understand ghosting could end up being the highest blessing of your life. Joining us now is best-selling author Andi Lew, who is out with her 9th health title, Where'd They Go? Welcome to Bloom, Andi.
Thank you. In the spirit of ghosting, I was going to not show up.
Oh man, that would have been terrible because you're at the top of the show.
Isn't it terrible when people do that?
It is the worst thing ever. I've had it happen to me once, and it really hurts you because you figure wait, what did I do wrong? It can happen in relationships, friendships, business. Even family members can ghost you.
Absolutely, and there was a study done as well where it said a third of the people in the study of 1,300 people actually had experienced it in friendships. So obviously you've never had this happen on the show, but when somebody doesn't return your emails, text messages or phone calls, it's called ghosting. And the culture of ghosting is kind of so, it's trending, but I'm calling it out.
Yeah, you should be calling it out. And you're right. You could see how we'd almost become groomed to ghost one another because it's so easy to do on social media. And that's where we spend a lot of our time.
Yes, my darling, because there's a chapter in the book called Who's to Blame? And I like to look at the system to blame before the person. You know, sometimes, as you say, we're groomed, we're accidentally conditioned. We don't realize that how we're behaving online is how we're now behaving in real life too, with swiping, blocking, deleting. But I must say that sometimes ghosting is good. It's another chapter in the book. Yeah, like if you're being disrespected or you're feeling unsafe. Not only might you want to ghost, but you might also want to report.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But then ghosting can also really hurt you as well, because if you don't understand where it's coming from, that's when it probably starts to wreak havoc on your mental health.
Babe, it can haunt you.
Yeah, I like that. I like all these puns. Not to mention the fact when you get a chance, look close at the necklace. It's a little baby ghost that Andi's wearing. I absolutely love that. It's so cute.
Look, you know what? It really does hurt, as you say, when you can't deal with the disappearance. A lot of my readers are saying it's potentially worse than, grieving death, because at least you know that the person has gone and you have the opportunity to grieve it properly. With ghosting, you really do, you're left wondering forever, where do they go? And what did I do, as you say? So your self-esteem goes down, the confidence, but there's 50 ways to deal with disappearance in the book. And I really aim to, as a health and wellness coach, help people bring their levels back up to the confidence where they were before and perhaps even more, because it says everything about them and nothing about you.
So what should you do if you've been ghosted and you don't know why, and it is just killing you on the inside?
I talk about some of the reasons people ghost, and some of those reasons are that they just cannot hold up their lie anymore. So sometimes it could be that you have met after you've met on a dating app and you've met in real life, so you really don't understand why they couldn't just feel comfortable to tell you that they're just going to disappear. But I've found in my research, because I've got some anecdotal stories in there, that some people, when they're matching online, do lie about things. They lie about their age, they lie about their job, and then they just can't keep up the lie anymore. If she or he would find out that I really am this age and not that one, then I'm just not going to be able to cope with it. So it's sometimes even an illusion in who you're having an interaction with, and that's when I say, perhaps ask yourself, did I dodge a bullet? Was this meant to be? And the answer is always, of course.
That's when it could be the blessing. What if your boo ghost you? That's not really a question.
Oh,
I had not come up with any good puns.
How good are the dad jokes?
I know, I like it. We're firing on all cylinders right now. I finally feel part of this. No, but in all honesty, what if it is somebody that you do know and that you are close to, and it's not a virtual situation?
Yeah.
Because a virtual situation can be hurtful, but you really don't even know that person that well. What if it's somebody that you do know, like a friend, a family member?
The first thing to ascertain is, did they really ghost you, or are they just busy and you're being impatient? And the other thing is something going on in their life that they just cannot even confront you with something. That sweaty, palmed conversation can be difficult. So we need to learn how to be better communicators with each other, but also open up that safe space to be able to talk confidently and openly and really listen to each other, because half the healing is in the hearing. So when we get ready to really listen is when we can start to open up that ability to have closure. And it might not be that bad, because I always say, leave a person better than you found them. It only means that you're going to have better interactions later. But you know what? If you really do just want to sort of call out the behavior, do it with comedy. Like, say something like, I thought Casper was supposed to be friendly.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. So just kind of call the person out, see what happens. And I love that. This is your 9th in a series of books, and they always have to do with topics that are trending. And this is one of those that is trending right now.
It's so relevant. Everything that I write about this is my 9th book. I've done fitness and nutrition, digital detoxes, functional fitness, everything that people need. And my clients were saying to me, Andi, I really need this in my life. My mental health is declining. So this is something that we all need to learn from now.
I like that. What's next? Do we see anything else on the horizon, or just now you rolled this one out and we got to wrap our arms around this, because this is a good one, and I think a lot of people, especially if you're in the dating world right now, are going to love it.
It's a labor of love when you're an author. It's like having a baby. You've had 4. I'm like, I'm never doing this again, and then I get an idea for another one. But I mean, I'm just focusing on my podcast right now. It's called Well to Do.
So, I love that. So what do you talk about on Well to Do?
All the things you need to do to be well.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So you are in that health, wellness, mind, body, spirit realm. And that is so important, because as people kind of go through life, dealing with their anxieties, depressions, and all the crazy things happening in their world, if you just focus on finding that balance, it can be so helpful in your journey.
Absolutely. And I went to a radical life extension seminar on the weekend in San Diego, and it was really interesting. There was a professor there from UCLA, and he was talking about exactly how what you think about, you bring about. We all know how mental health actually can age us, and create disease, but hearing it with his research just really hit home for me,
Yeah, that is fascinating, because you think about it, a lot of people might just be manifesting something in their life because they can't take that mental pivot.
Yeah, so be kind to yourself, find ways to deal with that disappearance, and there's 50 in the back of the book. Do something that makes you feel good about yourself again.
Andi, it's been such a pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much for coming on Bloom. Do never ghost us in the future. We want you to keep coming back, okay?
I will resurface. I will submarine.
I love it. All right, thank you, Andi. And I'll connect you with Andi on our website, WFLA.com/Bloom.